Hi, I'm Jim Mulhern, President and CEO of the National Milk Producers Federation. I hope you are enjoying the holiday season here as we wind down the last weeks of 2017. I want to spend a few minutes today providing an update on the status of several key policy issues as we at National Milk wrap up what's proven to be an incredibly busy 2017. I only have time to discuss a partial list of our major priorities. There are a number of other issues I could add to this roster, but I want to focus on those topics that are the most significant for our members and for dairy farmers across the country. These issues include our efforts to shore up the dairy safety net, efforts to help dairy farmers obtain legal access to immigrant workers, preserving and improving the North American Free Trade Agreement, and ensuring that agricultural production technologies are treated fairly by the government and in the marketplace. And finally, I want to talk about our efforts to prompt FDA to take action against fake dairy foods that are trying to capitalize on the nutritional halo of real dairy foods. Let me start with our efforts to shore up the dairy safety net. As you all know, the Dairy Margin Protection Program has failed to provide a meaningful level of protection to farmers who want to use it. At the start of 2017, we outlined a series of recommended improvements to the NPP. We shared those concepts with the U.S. Department of Agriculture and leaders in Congress, and we asked for their help in getting these improvements implemented into law. These changes have a federal budget impact, so Congress needs to allocate additional resources to the dairy program. Now, this could be a two-step process. First, we're asking Congress to make some needed enhancements in the dairy safety net in the still pending 2018 budget bill before Congress. And then, the House and Senate Agriculture Committees will need to make additional improvements in the 2018 Farm Bill now being developed on Capitol Hill. Once those steps are taken, I'm optimistic we'll end up with the better risk management tools for our industry. Next is the issue of helping dairy farmers obtain legal access to immigrant workers. We are supporting the Agriculture Guest Worker Act that narrowly passed the House Judiciary Committee earlier this fall. The measure reflects input from National Milk on how a new farm guest worker program should be operated. We also have engaged in extensive efforts to expand the H-2A temporary worker visa program to dairy farmers. Neither of these approaches is a perfect solution to the labor challenges that have afflicted our industry for many years. However, we need to build momentum behind a viable policy measure that will help farm employers with their workforce needs. We continue to raise this issue in virtually every conversation we have on Capitol Hill, and that will continue into next year. Also at the top of the priority list is preserving and improving the North American Free Trade Agreement. America's dairy farmers clearly need the trade benefits that have resulted over the last 20-plus years from the NAFTA agreement. It has helped create over a $1 billion a year export opportunity in Mexico, and we simply cannot go back to an era when that market didn't exist. At the same time, the NAFTA talks are a crucial opportunity to hold Canada's feet to the fire and rescind its appalling new Class 7 pricing program that is hurting U.S. dairy farmers as well as dairy markets around the world. The NAFTA negotiations will continue in the new year, and I'm cautiously optimistic that as we move through 2018, we will see progress on modernizing the NAFTA agreement and rolling back Canada's harmful dairy policies in that agreement. Ensuring that agricultural production technologies, especially GMOs, are treated fairly by government and in the marketplace is a major issue for dairy farmers and all of production agriculture, and we've been heavily engaged in that effort this year. USDA has spent this past year developing a major new regulation on how food marketers will have to disclose the presence of bioengineered ingredients in their products. NMPF's input to regulators is that the new disclosure policy must be based in science and not create false and misleading impressions about the safety of food. We already see far too much fear-based marketing in the dairy case, and we don't need even more misleading absence claims in the future. That's one reason that National Milk started our Peel Back the Label campaign in 2017, to call out companies that mislead consumers about safe and sustainable food production practices. Farmers shouldn't have to return to the days of using more and less safe pesticides, burning more fossil fuels, and losing more soil through erosion, so that some irresponsible food marketers can try to build market share by using deceptive labels. The last issue I want to mention is our ongoing efforts to get the Food and Drug Administration to take action against fake dairy products. We've waged a major battle on this issue this year, and it will continue into 2018. We're asking Congress to pass the Dairy Pride Act, which would require the Food and Drug Administration to finally enforce its own regulations against mislabeled non-dairy foods that inappropriately use dairy terms. At issue is that the government is selectively choosing not to enforce long-standing food labeling terms at a time when dairy imitators have moved aggressively into the dairy case while the regulators look the other way. We will continue to press state and federal regulators to do their jobs and expose the fake foods for what they are, pale imitations of real dairy that don't deliver the same nutrients as real milk, cheese, and yogurt. Now, we've been busy on so many fronts that it's hard to believe this year is almost over. Congress has just passed a once-in-a-generation tax reform bill that contains several important benefits to farmers, although we had to fight tooth and nail to ensure it didn't hurt farmer-owned cooperatives over the loss of the Section 199 deduction. This was an example of a small but significant battle we fought successfully for our members. There were others in 2017, and I know there will be many more in the coming 12 months. On behalf of the staff here at National Milk, I want to thank you for your support of and engagement with your organization over this past year. We send our best wishes for the Christmas season, and we look forward to sharing more with you on these and many other issues in the coming years. Happy holidays to all of you. Thanks.